YouTube, chicks. Get ready. You know what to do, chicks.
Listen, Chicks Smooth.
Hey, Chick Smooth, appreciate all the coverage that you've been doing. I've been watching your shit for a while. I just subscribed to your shit too, bro. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Brett Fox, reporting from the Chicks universe. And today we're going to talk about the Charlamagne the God and DJ Akademiks situation. For those of you who may not know, DJ Akademiks and Charlamagne the God kind of been having a back and forth spout for a couple of days now. It kind of started earlier in the week when DJ Akademiks made some comments about the female host over at the Breakfast Club and how she's pretty much taken Jess Hilarious' spot. Ever since then, it seems like the tensions between the two groups have been escalating little by little. It seems like things got to a boiling point yesterday when Charlamagne came out to address some of the alleged accusations that DJ Akademiks has made. So, as you all may know also, yesterday it was announced that the petition that Drake had filed against iHeart had been dropped. According to sources, this petition was dropped after the two parties came to an applicable resolution. However, it seems as though for some reason Charlamagne the God got the idea that DJ Akademiks and his Akademiks TV Twitter page have been spinning some type of alternative narrative in which it makes it seem like Drake is the one that came out extremely favorable inside the agreement, even insinuating that Drake got some type of financial compensation. Now, that said, I personally have never seen anything of that nature coming from the Akademiks TV page or Akademiks, but I could understand how somebody could get that misconstrued, being as how we all kind of know that Akademiks TV page is a little bit biased whenever it comes to Drake. But at the same time, I'm not going to speak too much for Charlamagne. I'm going to let you hear this clip so you can see what he had to say for yourself.
Okay, so y'all remember the whole legal back and forth that Drake had happening in Texas with like iHeart, and he was alleging that Universal Music Group was paying money to iHeart radio stations over Not Like Us and boosting the streams. So there have been reports that there was an alleged settlement, but that is not what happened.
What happened?
Well, we know nobody cares about the truth and the lies more entertaining, but I need DJ Akademiks and all the Drake fan pages to gather around to get the truth regardless.
Get the facts.
It's simple. What Drake filed against iHeart wasn't a lawsuit. What he filed was a petition.
Yes.
And it was a petition to try to make iHeart give a deposition. So Drake wasn't asking for money. He was asking for information. Right. So iHeart could not have made a payment. iHeart could negotiate to give Drake documents or something else showing they didn't do anything wrong. And once Drake received those documents and saw that there was nothing there, he could agree to drop his petition. And that's exactly what happened. Okay, he simply dropped his petition because after he saw what he needed to see, he realized iHeart was not engaged in any of the actions that he was accusing them of. End of story. And I know Drake fan pages won't run with that because it's not as entertaining as saying, iHeart settled with Drake for money and Drake was right all along. But, no, your guy Drake simply dropped the lawsuit or dropped the petition because there was nothing there. Mm-hmm. Yes.
As you heard in that clip, Charlamagne did not hold back. And as you can imagine, DJ Akademiks was not very fond of what Charlamagne had to say. And in typical Akademiks fashion, he wasted no time in issuing a response.
Now, I know we're in this whole cluster of fans want to be like, yo, look, Drake's desperate, and oh, look, no, this is real. Like, it means that Drake got everything like figured out and they're going to pay him billions of dollars. Let me give you the actual understanding of what this is. Number one, and also here's the thing too. I seen Shorty on, what's her name? Mr. Charlotte, since you called for the king, you have gotten the king. I'm very aware this is a petition. Also, before you report on this, we also have to remind everyone that Charlamagne works for the Breakfast Club, which is owned solely by iHeart Media. You get what I'm saying? It's like basically saying Akademiks TV on Twitter tweeted out some shit about me, and it's like, well, who owns it? Me. You get what I'm saying? Hey, the point is, we also have to consider this source, but I will give the actual understanding of what this is, and let me just keep going. But I'm only responding since, when you call for the king do step up.
Now, before things get too carried away, I do want to interject and say one thing. One thing I did notice is that Akademiks definitely started this video off saying that he didn't even know that he was mentioned in this article, as if it was some type of surprise clip. But then he follows off by closing out and saying, when you do mention the king has to respond. So already we have some contradictions. Now, there's truths and mistruths on both sides. So before I get even further, let me just post what Akademiks actually said on the situation.
So again, I know Drake fans want to hear good things, and they're like, oh, well, he settled this legal dispute, he got paid a bunch of money. No. He most likely got information that made him a little bit more abreast of what the situation is with Universal, and he's going to use that for the Universal lawsuit. And his plan was never to actually sue iHeart or Spotify. However, I still think both of them are affecting him, because he literally he's now viewed as a litigant, right? Like, yo, you're...
So, as you can actually hear, Akademiks actually, probably for the first time ever, was not being 100% biased towards Drake. He actually kept it a buck and kept the fans in check and let them know, like, hey, Drake didn't really get any money from this. If anything, at most, he probably got some information that he was looking for. And that was about it. So, it looks like Akademiks might actually be on the right side of history with this one. So maybe Charlamagne got some bad intel or got confused with a whole nother story. Who knows? But let's get back into the Akademiks' reaction.
Make iHeart give a deposition. So Drake wasn't asking for money. He was asking for information. Right. So iHeart could not have made a payment. iHeart could negotiate to give Drake documents or something else showing they didn't do anything wrong. And once Drake received those documents and saw that there was nothing there, he could agree to drop his petition. And that's exactly what happened. Okay, he simply dropped his petition because after he saw what he needed to see, he realized iHeart was not engaged in any of the actions that he was accusing them of.
That's very incorrect, and I'll explain afterwards.
End of story. And I know Drake fan pages won't run with that because it's not as entertaining as saying, iHeart settled Drake for money, and Drake was right all along. But
I'm also not sitting here to say Drake was right all along.
No, your guy Drake simply dropped the lawsuit or dropped the petition because there was nothing there.
No, that's absolutely not true. That's absolutely not true. And again, Charlotte is my guy, so we're speaking very civilly here. I respect him, but let's really put this on the table, okay? And this is not a. I feel like I'm using political words when I'm talking about hip hop, because fan groups are so divided. So you have Kendrick fans that want to hear one thing, you have Drake fans that want to hear one thing, and I'm just here to just tell you like it is. The reality of that petition is that Drake was asking iHeart for information and for maybe documents or maybe payments that could prove that they were getting paid by Universal. Now, here's the very facts that Charlamagne is admitting that I'm going to tell you. Again, none of this is coming from Drake, by the way. None of this is coming from OVO. This is coming from just anyone with fucking common sense. It is completely illegal for any radio station to take monetary payments to promote or play songs in a rhythmic capacity. So what does that mean? If I'm over here doing some underhanded shit underneath the table and you sue me and say, could you give me the proof? You think I'm going to give you the proof? Only an idiot would do that. So the reality of payola, which by the way, the FCC has busted iHeart or other entities that have operated because they have these radio licenses, which they're using public airwaves. They've been busted for payola or doing things multiple times in the long storied history of radio broadcasting. But I'll digress on that. The point is this. You're not going to ask iHeart, could you tell us how you're getting payola? And they're gonna be like, oh, here's exactly how we're doing it. Nobody does that, right? So Drake asking was really just a formality. Really was just trying to get them to do a deposition. They were never gonna give Drake documents and say, hey, we did get mad money, and of course we use that as incentive to play knowledge. They were never gonna do that. By the way, what I'm explaining has nothing to do with Not Like Us. I just want to explain how this looks on a legal front.
And I'm going to stop right there, right? Because this is where things start to get a little bit shaky from Akademiks' end. Two things I'm noticing right here while he's talking. First of all, he just said that this has nothing to do with Not Like Us. Absolutely untrue. everything about this has everything to do with Not Like Us. Drake is not suing iHeartMedia because he feels as though they're just doing payola on the regular. Everything is directly in reference to Not Like Us. That's one. Two, I feel as though he's trying to shift the narrative from it being, did Drake significantly win in this exchange between him and iHeartMedia, which is the argument that Charlamagne is presenting. He is now trying to make it seem as though Drake was never expecting to get anything from them. That makes no sense. So then why even go forward with the petition? And trust me, I get it. Like, as a Drake fan, you want Drake to win in everything that he does. You don't want it to look like he's just picking up poop and throwing it at the wall and hoping that something sticks. But that's what it seems like right now to everybody, that Drake is coming out with all these different types of lawsuits and every single one seems to be failing one by one. That's the narrative that it seems like Akademiks is trying so hard to fight, and it looks like it's a losing battle.
And I would challenge whether it's Lauren LaRosa, Charlamagne, or whoever else, including their source at the Breakfast Club. I think I'm a pretty knowledgeable person. I'm sorry. I might be the smartest cookie if I was in that room. I'm only speaking about what the law is, right? So payola is clearly illegal. No company is going to say, here's the files. We're doing illegal shit. That's basically saying, like, that's all type of antitrust violations and also all type of violations about payola. iHeart would be just getting reamed through. They'll be getting ran through, pause, by the feds. They're not going to give up to a rapper. Oh, yeah, of course we're taking mad money. That's a crime. So he was never going to get that. Here's the real reason why it was actually dropped. And, you know, of course, iHeart's going to send out their statement through their own company or their own subsidiary, The Breakfast Club, but it didn't absolve iHeart. Drake dropped it because he realizes, number one, he ain't going to get much from the company. They're not going to snitch on themselves. What actually happened is that the FCC is probing iHeart. So, because Drake's civil lawsuit, he could only do so much. He could subpoena certain shit, but he can't do that much, even if it's approved by a judge, because who's going to snitch on themselves? Here's the difference. When the FCC, the federal, I'm forgetting what FCC stands for. FCC, what it stands for.
The Federal Communications Commission. Now, I want to jump in here for a specific reason. Now, although what Akademiks is saying, some of the things are true, some of those things are not true at the same time. Now, the whole point of putting through a petition is to prove that you have grounds to actually introduce a lawsuit. So, it's safe to say if Drake withdrew his petition before we even went to discovery, it's pretty safe to say that that was because he saw that he probably didn't have a good enough case to win at all, and why waste the money on lawyers? And 9 times out of 10, in most cases, that is the reason why a petition is withdrawn, especially before it even goes to discovery. But one thing I will say that's pretty interesting about this whole thing is the fact that Charlamagne and Akademiks are letting this play out on the internet. From what we seem to prescribe, they have a pretty good relationship, so I'm surprised that they didn't just get on the phone and settle out their differences. Regardless of the facts, in this situation between them two, they both are saying some right things and they're both saying some wrong things. At the end of the day, they're both wrong. But that's just my opinion. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section. Like, comment, and subscribe. Till next time.